I want to talk a little bit about Fruit Fest. This is a beautiful morning. Hi guys. This is my breaking the fast, literally, because I fasted for a day, and this is my fruit celebration. So I wanted to do a little video about that and talk about why fruit is humanity's perfect food. Alright, so I've been on this journey for many years. So basically, I slowly transitioned away from what you would call the standard American diet, which is full of processed food, sugars, inflammatory elements, animal products, and so on. I very slowly transitioned away from that. And then, of course, I went into cooked vegetarian food, cooked plant-based food. I started experimenting with raw fruits and raw vegetables. Now, the transition from mostly cooked vegan food, or mostly salads and things like that, to fruits also happened slowly, gradually. I kind of eased my way into it because fruit is the most detoxifying food out there. It's high in fiber, high in water content, high in minerals, phytonutrients, and vitamins. And a lot of people limit their fruit intake, and that's because it reveals issues. Oftentimes people think they're allergic to fruit or it's causing symptoms, but what it's actually doing is revealing an underlying imbalance. And so for a while I also kind of walk the line in the middle there, as well as the fact that there are a lot of myths about fruit. So, for example, that it causes diabetes, or that fruit sugar makes you fat. It doesn't. One of the things that contributes to malabsorption of fruit is improper combination of foods. So that would include having fruit after a fat-heavy meal or a cooked meal. Fruit digests the most quickly out of all foods. So that's between 20 to 30 minutes. And most other foods take hours in transit through the digestive system. So if you improperly combine, what ends up happening is that it gets trapped in this matrix of material, and it ferments instead of quickly absorbing vitamins and nutrients that are really great for our bloodstream and our vitality. That's one. And two is, in general, the combination of fruits with fat. Fat blocks the absorption of the sugar into the cells. Your cells run on this glucose. So there's a few types of reasons why someone might be wary of fruit, and it a lot of the time has to do with the habits that are currently in place. For example, I used to eat oats for breakfast, and I ate that for a couple of years, just every single day. And that was a period when I wasn't really transitioning away from grains. And then at one point, it just stopped working. It turned really acidic in my stomach. I had to really decide to stop because it didn't feel good. And then there was a slow transition into having fruits for breakfast. And pretty much, that's how I love to start my morning. I'll just have these fruits. They're hydrating, they're beautiful, they're colorful, they're sweet, they're delicious, and it just fills me up with so much hydration and vitality and joy. So that's usually how the day starts. I might continue on with salads, and then maybe make a simple non-inflammatory cooked vegan meal at night. But one of my absolute joys in this life is fruit. And it's something I remember since I was a kid. We always treated it like a snack. It was, something you had after a meal, or something we had in small quantities. And I always wanted more, and it's just it's a snack. It comes after the meal. And I was absolutely obsessed with it. And so basically when I transitioned into these things and I realized there was nothing to be afraid of, I could eat as much fruit as I wanted. And in fact, I enjoyed it far more than anything else, especially with the transition, because you have to remember that detoxing and transitioning away from different foods takes time. Your body adjusts to it differently, you might feel differently, and that's a whole other concept on its own that I'd like to get into. But basically the joy of my being at this point is in eating these fruits. They're super high vibrational, and I really can't imagine a life without them. And so in a way, I feel like reclaim the fruit. Like, it shouldn't just be a snack or something that's so expensive at the store. Like, humanity's most simple and accessible food, honestly, as well as like most animals, because we spread the seeds through eating it. It grows on trees. You actually don't harm the plant by taking its fruits. It offers them freely. And if you research and go into it in terms of like what a fruitarian or a frugivore lifestyle is, you'll actually notice that there are quite a lot of nuts and seeds and legumes and other things that are considered fruits. And so then it makes more sense to like basically have a kind of balanced variety of things. And it's just, these trees are right there, and they communicate this sweet, beautiful fruit. And, you know, we and animals like spread the seeds through eating it. I really want to reclaim the fruit and find a way to make sure that we have fruit plantations, and not in a monoculture way, like a permaculture way. And also, if anybody has a piece of land, like growing their own fruit on it, I can't think of any other way that makes sense, because trees basically would have this fruit hanging on them and we could pick it. There's some cities where they actually like turn the trees in the city, like on the sidewalks, into fruit trees, so people can have some. I think that's an amazing idea, because why not? It's fruits, food, like the nature's food there for us to consume. And so that's what I wanted to say, because I hope that we can reclaim the power of the fruit. And if there's anything that you want to ask me about concerning fruits, a detox or a vegan lifestyle or anything, you know where to find me, lovelies. Have a great day.